Hi, I'm Michty Maxx, and I'm here to share this ancient Egyptian-inspired makeup. I've been hanging out to create a look in this style, and what better time than seeing the Gods of Egypt movie. I used the strong black eyeliner as well as the colors gold and blue, which are rampant in ancient Egyptian art. To begin, I primed my eyes with a sample of the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. I made sure I go all around my eye because this is an intensive makeup. I wanted a sharp edge, so I sliced off some sticky tape and peeled it off my hand a few times, and then placed it from the corner of my eye at an upwards angle towards my temples. It always takes me forever to get them even, but I do like the effect it gives. I moisturized my lips with a bepanthen ointment, which is the best thing for dry lips. I picked up my Inglot eyeshadow number 101R and ran the deepest and middle shades through my socket as a transition color and began to plot out the cut crease shape, also placing some towards the nose bridge. Next I have the Makeup Geek eyeshadow Stealth, and using the Sedona Lace EB09 blending brush, I'm softly taking that through the socket line, up against the tape in a swooped form, and also up under the start of the brow and down the nose bridge, softly building up pigmentation. I swiped my NYX Jumbo eye pencil in electric blue and drew it all over the mobile eyelid space. I used my finger to smooth out the product and take the cream up to the crease line and right against the tape. To begin with the eyeshadows, I dipped the Sigma F70 concealer brush into the Urban Decay Electric palette for the eyeshadow fringe to apply to the outer and inner corners of my eyelid. I created a round shape on the inner piece of my lid using the shape of the brush, just leaving a little space towards the inner crook there. I made sure the eyeshadow went right up to the socket line on the outer edge, and I took this shadow through the crease to join the two sections. I have the Sugarpill pigment in Starling and the Illamasqua sealing gel to make a pigment paste, so I can apply that with the same brush next to the fringe eyeshadow, overlapping slightly. After wiping off that brush, I'm spraying it with MAC Fix Plus to dip into the Urban Decay Deluxe eyeshadow piece and covering the remaining space on the center of my eyelid. To get even more dimension into the lid, I'm taking the shimmery blue shade from the Sleek Acid palette and rubbing that on the very center of the lid. I grabbed a touch more Sugarpill Starling to merge the edges into the deeper blue and bring out more of that shade. To really make the center pop out, I have the Sugarpill pigment in Grand Tiara, and I'm touching into the cap with the Real Techniques Detailer brush to apply the silver pigment down the middle and blending it into the other shadows with my fingertip. I also went around the edge with more sleek light blue acid eyeshadow on that damp flat brush. And I brought back the vibrancy of the deeper fringe shade at the very corners. I ran the blending brush around the edges to soften the lines, and then picked up some more of the Makeup Geek Stealth eyeshadow and intensified the crease, darkening under the eyebrow and taking more shadow down the nose in a squared off shape, also flicking it up along with the tape. Now I'm bringing in Makeup Geek Corrupt eyeshadow with the Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease brush, and I'm taking that all along the socket line, really defining that cut crease and flicking it out along the tape. Then I realized I hadn't turned on my new ring light, and let there be light, so I can continue with darkening up the crease and really getting up there at the front of the brow. I'm hooking the shape down to the nose and brushing some color right into the eyebrow hairs to blacken the area. I came in with the EB09 and Stealth to make sure the top edge of the crease isn't too harsh and fades out with the flick at the edge. I layered these two eyeshadows to get my desired effect and really getting in there sculpting the inner corner crook shape. I whipped out my Inglot number 77 matte gel eyeliner, my new Sigma Eero 6 winged liner brush, and some Inglot Duraline to make a start on my eyeliner, and smeared the product over my tight line. Then I used Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water and a cotton bud to clean up my tear duct, to ready it for this Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow called Magic Act, and the Real Techniques Detailer brush, which I'm using to fill in the space I left under that inner crook of my eye, and I packed on that shimmery gold to highlight that area in a defined shape, pulling it onto my nose. Next, I removed the sticky tape and adhered it to my skin again, placing it lower down to leave a triangular sliver, and at this point I evened up the sides with makeup remover. I pulled out the Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in El Dorado and colored in that triangle, smudging it out into the temple with my finger. I took Magic Act again and that detailer brush to set the pencil and make it match the inner piece. I went back to the gel eyeliner to continue my work in that area. I ran the product along the tape, using it as a guideline, and created a flared segment from the corner of my eye, joining it up to my upper lash line, and created a sharp inner corner point. I also dragged the product along my waterline and connected the inner and outer points through my lash line, while smudging the inky black goodness into my lashes. I made sure it was solid black along there and peeled off the tape to get better access so I could really buff that out well with the Makeup Geek pencil brush. I ran some Makeup Geek Corrupt eyeshadow underneath the lower lid to smoke it out under there and keep it good and solid, yet keeping the inner point nice and sharp. I employed the fluffy pointed crease brush to blend the black down even further without adding any eyeshadow to it. Next, I cleaned off the detailer brush to pick up some Inglot No. 35 AMC Shine eyeshadow and apply it to the first third of my brow bone wedge. And I went into No. 33 AMC Shine eyeshadow, also from Inglot, and continued the piece. I enhanced the white section, merging it across, and made sure it didn't interfere with the matte black crease. I liked where this was going, so I applied some more light gold and finalized the detail with some Magic Act foiled eyeshadow, taking that towards the temple, blending it with the crease and touching up the other gold section while I was there. I have some eyelash adhesive and a toothpick to apply tiny dots of glue along the outer edge of my eyeliner. Then I'm grabbing my ScraPerfect Embellie Gellie that helps you pick up embellishments such as these tiny round gold pearls, which I'm placing over the glue dots and developing my pattern as I go along, applying as many as looks good, using the smaller ones towards the center of the lash line and at the edges of the liner shape for some gilded details. I'm jumping into my Urban Decay brow box and grabbing a touch of the lighter shade to run through my eyebrows, then mixing it in with more of the darker ashy brown shade to achieve a stronger brow than usual as it combines with the black eyeshadow already there. I set the hairs in place with Benefit Gimme Brow. I curled my eyelashes in preparation for CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara, and I whacked on a couple of coats. I have these cheap false eyelashes from eBay which I'm cutting in half to create outer half lashes to enhance the strong winged liner effect. I extended the inner point with the EO6 winged liner brush and picked up the Urban Decay Eldorado eye pencil again to apply underneath that point to define and highlight it. I took more foiled Magic Act and dabbed it on with that very useful detailer brush to make it cohesive with the inner crook piece, thus completing the bird-like element reminiscent of the god Horus. After my false lashes were dry, I applied another coat of mascara, focusing on blending my natural eyelashes with the start of the half false lashes. I gave some more love to that gold piece, and then layered on a thick amount of my lower lash mascara, MAC Giga Black Lash. I'm beginning on the face with MAC Strobe Cream and mixing it on the back of my hand with Sugarpill Goldilocks Pigment for an experimental gilded face look. I rubbed it into the skin in sections with my hands to give an underlying gold tint to elevate the costume look of the makeup. If you don't have a gold loose pigment, you can scrape off some pressed gold eyeshadow and mix it in. I applied my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer, focusing on the center of my face as usual. And now I have the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl Liquid Face Highlighter, adding a couple of pumps of my Bourjois foundation to combine the two products for a glowing golden skin. I dotted the mixture on my face and then brought in my Beauty Blender Pro that I'm growing more favorable of, and I pounced that on the skin until I had an even coverage. This Beauty Blender is really squishy and soft, and I do enjoy that. I'm really growing to love it. I whipped out the Revlon Photo Ready Eye Primer and Brightener and used the brush tip applicator to apply a decent amount under my eyes to cover up the dark circles, and I blended that in with the pointy end of the Beauty Blender before tapping on my concealer over the top and getting right up under the makeup, and then used the fat end with residual foundation to blur the line between concealer and face makeup. I set mainly under my eyes with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in diffused light, but added a light amount of powder around the center of my face with the Real Technique setting brush. I blended the eye makeup into the face makeup for a cohesive look and continued the nose bridge work with the Sedona EB09 brush, using whatever was left over on the bristles from before. Now for the really fun part. I have my MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Whisper of Guilt, and I'm taking the golden highlighter on my Hakuhodo S113 highlight brush to slather it heavily on my cheekbones as well as down my nose, cupid's bow, center of the forehead and chin, applying a denser amount with my finger in certain areas, and really going to town all over my face. Then I have the MAC cheek powder from the Surf Baby collection called My Paradise, and I'm circling my brush through the whole product to pick up the overlay as well, and then applying the blush under my cheekbones and up towards my temples for a peachy orange contrast to the blue eyes. I blended that out with a big fluffy powder brush, and then went back to the Whisper of Guilt highlighter to lay on more golden shine. I intensified my beauty spot with an eyebrow pencil. I decided to add some more of those gold pearls on my inner corner, so I went back in with the eyelash glue and Embellie Gellie to place a small one and two tiny ones, fading towards the point. To finish the skin, I sprayed a healthy dose of MAC Fix Plus to settle the powders in and refresh the sheen of gold. I primed my lips with MAC Prep and Prime Lip, then picked up the Eldorado Gold Pencil to outline and fill in my lips, to shape them and lay down a golden base. When I got enough of that product down, I took the OCC Lip Tar in Triptych and squeezed some out on the back of my hand so I could pick up some Goldilocks pigment with my oil slick spatula and mix it in to create a bright metallic lip paint, which I applied with the Sedona Lace LBO5 lip brush. I wanted to lighten the lips so they match the other gold details in the makeup, so I brought out the Magic Act foiled eyeshadow once more and patted it over the center portion of the lip tar with the detailer brush and used my finger for extra pigmentation. And after a little boogie time, I'm done. I totally enjoyed slathering myself in gold, which made me feel like an Egyptian statue come to life, and the strong structured eye was so fun to wear. I really loved how the inner eye shapes created a bird-like effect, which suggests a Horus Falcon kinda look that is very appropriate for the inspiration. Just for fun, I whacked on this black wig to simulate a Cleopatra feel, but it was way too hot this day to wear it, so I went out with my usual natural noggin style. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this graphic eye and costume-esque makeup tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also check out my band and podcast on iTunes.